Hi guys, today I'm here with 8 other Adopt Me content creators and we'll be doing a collab building challenge. In this challenge we will be building in the Queenslander home and we'll have 10,000 bucks. The house and the money are supplied by Bices. All the other creators will be tagged in the description, so make sure to go follow them too. So this collab is a building challenge where we all build together in the same house and we will have no communication. So we're not allowed to talk to each other about anything about the house, so we can't do any planning. So basically everyone is just gonna do their own thing and make their own little section of the house. And we also have a time limit for 45 minutes. So that way the video wouldn't be too long and also not too short. So here I am doing my part of the house. I sped up the part where I was building the house and I'm going to try and describe to you guys what I did with the build in case you want to recreate it. I made my walls light pink and white striped. I decided to do a kitchen because I picked a part of the house that was like out in the main room and not one of the rooms off to the side. So here I just put down the walls. I put pink stripes on one of the walls and then the other sides are just plain pink. I put discs at the top for more decoration, and I made a fridge that's shaped like Kuma by using blocks and discs for the ears and the face. So here I am just making the face of Kuma. A lot of the times, if I need to, I'll look at a reference of Kuma's face if I haven't built one in a while and I need to remember what it looks like. And I used beams for the handles, and I think I used bricks for the mouth on Kuma. And then for the floor, I just decided to cover up the floor right there with light brown floor panels, and then I like sectioned it off with beams right there. And then I made custom counters with blocks because I just thought it would look cuter for what I was doing. So for the counters, I just placed down a block and then cloned it, made it a different color and smaller, and sticked it out a little bit. I was trying to make like a cute strawberry kitchen, but with also some yellow in it too because the Kuma fridge. So I was thinking like something like this. I'll put a picture on the screen, like those cute strawberry kitchens. But of course I didn't get to add that much detail because we only had 45 minutes and it does take a while to build, especially when you didn't have a plan or anything. I didn't have a plan for this build. I just kind of looked at the picture that I showed you of the little strawberry kitchen and tried to do something like it, but not exactly. So here I made the oven. I made it have a door to the oven. And I also made the handles on the counters by using a little pedal table. So it's like a little flower. So here I'm just doing the same thing on the other side with the counters. I put them over to the other side too. And then I made a stove by using a medium floor panel and then discs for the stove tops. And also I think someone accidentally got their wall panel on my side, but that's okay because it's like all part of the challenge of no communicating when building. So here I made a strawberry on the back of the stove, and I used little discs for the seeds. Almost all of it is made out of discs besides the pedal table for the flower. I used a doorway and then glass wall panels to make the door of the oven right there. So here I'm using medium wall panels to make a shelf. So this will be a shelf with some baskets on it. And I just make another wall panel and make it smaller for the shelf in the inside. And then I use crates for the baskets on the inside of the shelf. and then I extended the shelves along. I used the VIP sink for this one. Here I'm using bricks to create some drawers in the sink, and then I also used the pedal tables again to create the handles so that there will be more flowers to match the handles on the cabinets. So here I'm adding the last few details before the timer runs out. I added some bottles and a microwave and some soap by the sink. And then I added these walls, which were gonna have cabinets like near the top of them. But I didn't have enough time, so that's okay. So the first thing I did in the second build session was add the counters to the top of these wall panels. And here I'm getting the colors back. Okay, now I'm lining up these counters to make the cabinets. So I just clone them all along. Now here I'm adding the doors to the cabinets by using a medium wall panel or floor panel. You can use either one. So once I've got it placed, you just clone it and move it over for each cabinet. And I was still deciding how I wanted it to look, but I eventually decided it like that. And now I'm using beams to make the handles on each cabinet. And now I'm making a strawberry to put on each of the cabinets by using all discs and bottles. Bottles for the seeds. And once I'm done making the strawberry, I will select it and push it into the counter a little, and then clone it and turn it around for the other counters and do this for each one. Now that I have the strawberries placed, I'm gonna clone the little flowers that I used, these petal tables that I used to make flower decorations on the cabinets, and I'm gonna put them on each of the cabinets here. So now I've finished the flowers, and I'm making this little shelf right here with a half wall panel and some of the ramps. I made the ramps really tiny and faced them in the right direction to fit on the shelf. So then I decided to clone one of the petal tables that I use for the flower decorations and make a big one in the center of all of the cabinets. And now I'm selecting the shelves, and I made a couple of them by cloning them and moving them over. Now I'm using this towel rack just for some more details on the kitchen sink. And I put some donuts in the oven so you can have some food for your pets or babies, and for more details, of course. I also added a disc to act as the plate for the donuts because I didn't like the color of the one that comes with the donuts. And now here I'm adding some more bottles by the sink just for more details. And now I'm making a jar, so I'm actually going to be making multiple jars. So for this I used a cylinder and then a disc, and then I put a mound on top of the disc and then a sphere on the very top for the handle of the jar. The reason I did the disc in the middle is because I wanted to include the green into the jar because this build is pink and green. So I selected it and then move it over to the shelf. It didn't let me select the little sphere on top of the jar, so I had to do that separately. And so I cloned all of the jars and put them on the shelves. And now I'm adding the sphere back on top for the handle. Now I'm adding some more details. I added more bottles on the shelves and a tea kettle on one of the shelves. And I also added some books on another one of the shelves. More books next to the microwave right here. And I add books in the kitchen because I think like it could be recipe books. And here I'm adding a bowl. I think I decided to change that later, but we'll see. So I noticed that there's this bottle here that I misplaced, so I fixed it by selecting the crate and moving it and then adding bottles to the rest of the crates. And I moved that one back. Now here I'm adding these taller bottles in the other two crates. Now I used a sewing machine and a bowl to make it look like it's a mixer. This is a really old hack that people made back in 2020, I think. People were still using this, but it's still a very good building hack. Now here I made a jar of jelly or jam, whichever you want to call it. So I used 3 cylinders and then 2 spheres to make the little strawberry on the front of the jelly. And here I just made, this is supposed to be like rolling out dough for like pizza or bread. So I used the dough from the pizza place section and I put a disc underneath for the plate and then a rolling pin on top. Now here I switched my, you can go through the sections in the build mode and I turned it to the pizza place one. There's a lot of stuff for your kitchen in the pizza place section. So that's why I did that, and I added a blender and then some pots and pans hanging on the wall right there. And then I added a stack of bowls right here on top of the microwave. And I also added a cheese grater on the shelf above the microwave. Now here I'm adding stars for more decorations, so I was deciding the colors for the stars. I made them very light pink, and I put a few all around the kitchen. And I also put a few on the fridge and the counters too. I think I put like 2 on every counter because I really like making a lot of details. So here I was trying to select the strawberry so I could put it onto the fridge because I thought the fridge was a little bit blank. And now I'm putting more of the stars on the top cabinets too. And now I'm putting the pedal tables on the fridge for more decorations. And I put the stars on the middle cabinet too. And here I'm just adding a trash can, and I made it a darker pink color. Now here I'm adding a few crates to put on top of the fridge. I put a few pots and pans on top of the fridge too. So the time is up now and we're going to be doing the tours. So we're going to tour everyone's build. So the first one we have is Silly Mimi. Her channel will be linked in the description, and this is her build. So she did this colorful bathroom build. I like the colors, and I also like how she used the shelf for the bathtub. Next we have the entrance room, which Bices did this. We didn't have too much time, but this is what he did in the amount of time, and there's a toilet right there. And next we have Azumi's room. She only had enough time to do the walls, which is okay. It still looks really cute. Now we have Charlotte's room. She did a pet grinding room, and my favorite part is the little wall art. That's really cute. And it's nice and pink and pretty in here. And then on to the next build. The next one is mine. I did this strawberry kitchen with a Karilikuma fridge. And thank you to everyone who really liked mine. I really appreciate it, and kitchens are one of my favorite rooms to make, so that's why I decided to do one. I think Bices added this elephant statue and the chairs around it. I'm not exactly sure, but I think so. And then the next we have a little area over here, which I think Charlotte did this little area. I like the little place for the pet display that she made, and the balloons and other decorations. Now we have Cutie Stars, or Oakley. So they did like this, I think it's like a pet grinding type of area. It's really cute. I love the sinks and the stars behind the mirrors. And now we have Mari, Adorbs X Mari. She did this preppy corner. It's so colorful. And I like the amount of details she added here, and the use of the rocking horse. Very nice for taking care of your pets too. And now we have Bice's room. So he did this like modern, more realistic aesthetic. And there's also a toilet outside of the room. I don't know why there's so many toilets around. I like the lanterns that he used in here, and the bed looks very nice too. Oh, there's a toilet in here too. But here's the room. It's very realistic and it looks very good and very different to a lot of our styles. Now we have Link's room. So she did this cinema roll, kind of like coquette themed blue room. Very cute. Oh, I like the bed. It looks very cozy. Oh, I like the heart picture frame above the bed too. Okay, now we have Mocha Charm's room. She did this very detailed, coquette pink and yellow room. I love all of the details, the books, the balloons, the flowers, the aquarium, and the little butterfly tables on the curtains. A little vanity over there. Now we go all the way back out, and we're gonna go all the way back to Charlotte's room. And in here, if you glitch in here, Bices made this surprise fashion show area. So none of us knew that he was doing this. So this was a surprise for all of us. All these little vanities back here, very cute. So we were being silly and messing around on the stage, and so that's everyone's build. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate if you could like the video. We may do something like this again sometime in the future if you guys like it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!